Tech addiction and depression. Funny trend that I'm seeing, it's really weird, is the suicide rate among teenagers in developed worlds developed countries such as the United States. Why, when we have an abundance of everything, is suicide rates increasing? So, a few things. I will attach the article on this podcast under the resources section. But basically, the article I'm reading is pretty interesting because it says that Steve Jobs and Bill Gates didn't allow their kids to use technology, or the technology was limited. I found that very interesting because these guys knew the addictive nature of screen time. And I am increasingly becoming aware of the dangers of technology. And it's not that I'm a Luddite. A Luddite's an individual that doesn't want change. It's just I believe in learning through, obviously, the scientific method, can't speak, learning through the scientific method and observation. Very, very keen. We should, just because something's new doesn't mean it's good. We should definitely learn and observe and experiment and test with what comes out. So what we're seeing with cell phones in particular, and iPads and all that other stuff, smart watches, probably smart ceiling fans, I don't know, is it's leading to depression. Too much screen time is leading to depression. So what do we do? And kind of physiological, what that does is we're stimulated, we're overstimulated. If you look at and there's so many things that I've read, and I can post some more articles about this that talk about when you're on social media, you're looking for that dopamine fix. When you get a notification or someone tags you in something, your brain triggers a hormone that basically, and this isn't me, this is science talking, to show you where it's that notification gives you a signal of dopamine and chemicals in your brain that's similar to getting a treat. So you become addicted to that. And I was just talking with my wife just last night how it's kind of like this slot machine effect where, and I'm not saying that I'm holier than thou. I've fallen for this and I'm trying to get away. But you look for a notification, then you refresh, you scroll your feed, refresh, look for a notification, no notification, scroll the feed more. It's like a slot machine. You're addicted to it. And what's happening is it's the dopamine in our brain wanting that reward. Now I'm going to go a little bit deeper here because unplugging is so powerful. Unplugging kind of resets, rewires things a little bit. And you may feel the urge to go back on social media, or the urge that you're missing something, but you're not really. As a consequence, if you do unplug for a while, you can reset your brain and you can focus on your life and some of the things that need improvements. We all have things we can improve on, and that makes us happy. Progression makes us happy. Regression doesn't make us happy. Reminds me of that movie Harry Potter, where they're looking, the first one, I can't remember what it's called, but basically they're looking in the mirror and the mirror reveals their wildest desires. And I think it's Dumbledore, basically says people have died wasting away in front of this mirror. That's what endless scrolling on social media reminds me of. Just looking at a life that they want, that they desire. How come, people, you can look at others, what is that, photoshopped life and compare yourself to something that you can never obtain. It's dangerous, real dangerous. So now I understand the backpacking across Europe. And stay with me, I'm not switching gears to a different topic here. But when you disconnect for a little while and you get lost in your own brain, you can really think about what matters most. Not being able to get lost in your brain for a little bit and always being connected stops you from thinking. What matters most? And that's why most people, when they are done backpacking through Europe, they're disconnected, they're unplugged, they come back with a sense of purpose, some clarity. And they've also reset their dopamine receptors in their brain to where they're not stimulated as much. It's powerful. It's real powerful, and I can't speak enough about it. I remember, I grew up in the country. I've said this a million times, and just going out on hikes, just going out on long walks, thinking, looking at nature. I used to try to catch rabbits, and I try to catch badgers and snakes, and it takes hours of concentration to catch wild animals. So you just got nothing but looking and observing and checking your traps, and you're just thinking. And then as a result, as a consequence, you really clarify and work on problems in your brain. And as a result, you come out of that clear. This is what I want to do. This is what I got to do. This is what I'm going to work on. That stuff's powerful. And I just think with the teenagers today, I feel a little bit bad for them because they, we're so connected. The yards are smaller. The streets are busier. You can't just go for a walk. So I guess, I'm just kind of ranting on my initial impressions from the article that I read. Really makes me depressed, but I'm not going to sit here and be nihilistic or melancholy. I'm going to say put your phone on airplane mode for a little while. Do a 24-hour fast, not just from meals, but from technology. And in that fast, grab a notebook. Grab some a pencil and a notebook and just write down what you're feeling, what you're thinking. I believe that's very powerful. I'm going to try to start doing it once a week and sharing with everybody what, my results of that. Once a week, I'm going to take just a 24-hour break from a screen and from food and just kind of reset things. Again, I want to, kind of share just a little personal story of mine. One time I just fell into this rabbit hole. This is about 4 or 5 years ago. It was after the 2012 election where I found myself on Facebook just angry. I didn't want the current president. I didn't want him to get reelected, and I had my reasons. I don't identify with either party, to be frank, but I didn't want the current president to get reelected for numerous reasons beyond the scope. And I was angry, and I found myself on social media arguing with my closest friends about politics. And that site just fed me more and more BS to fuel my anger and rage, and then started recommending, right-wing hate groups to go vent my frustration. And some of the closest friends that I've had, I don't talk to anymore. Hell, my own sister-in-law, I'm not even friends with on Facebook because she shared something that I found was offensive, and instead of calling her, I commented on it, and then the relationship deteriorated from there. It's dangerous. It made me angry, and I really stopped trying to post anything on social media since 2012, and I can't believe how long it's been, but my life has just been great. It's been fantastic, and I can't help but to look at the cancerous and the division between our country and just think about, I see the suicide rate go up. I see the hostility politically and the division. As of right now, our government shut down because the two parties can't get along and they can't agree on a budget. And it's just like, wow. There's something going on. There is something going on. And I like the old Jordan Peterson quote of, instead of getting involved in that muck, and instead of getting involved in others' problems and trying to solve all the issues of the world, why don't you clean your room first? I hope this podcast has helped think retrospectively a little bit. And, as it stands, the weather's horrible. So this is a day, at least in the Midwest, to go indoors and get lost in a book, maybe caffeine up. And I hope I've given you all something to think about. If you've got any comments, please let me know. Hope everyone has a good weekend.